Ahead on Early Birds, the Falcons are looking to shipwreck the Bucs. We'll go one-on-one with Kyle Pitts and learn more about his season of bouncing back from an injury. Plus, Michael Jenkins will tell you if the playoff committee got it right, and Caden Ellis goes deep on a play that proved he belongs. You belong right here with us on Early Birds.
Cup of your favorite Joe, and let's talk Falcons football on Early Birds, presented by Mercedes-Benz.
Good morning and welcome into Early Birds. He's DJ, I'm Justin. Falcons back in the division tomorrow and shock big-time playoff implications these next
playoffs? We're talking playoffs? Yeah, absolutely. I love talking playoffs, and we're in it. We haven't been able to talk about it for years. I'm glad we're in it.
I'm expecting that impression every week going forward. We'll see. Let's get things started with the opening drive. Shock Falcons and Bucs tomorrow, 1 p.m. at the Benz. Tampa Bay's offense has been okay under Baker Mayfield, but Mr. Reliable Mike Evans is having a great year. Second in the league in touchdowns, 5 scores, DJ, in his last 4 games.
Oh, Justin, it's unbelievable. This guy continues to play at a high level. Another 1,000-yard season again this year. He continues to play at the high level. We got to make sure you know where he's at because he's a guy that can make plays for you. Again, he went for 70 yards last week on a big touchdown. Mike Evans, regardless of age, year, he continues to be a big-time factor for the Bucs offensively.
And he'll be a focus for the Falcons defense. Evans had 82 yards and a touchdown earlier when these two clubs met earlier in the season.
It's the second time around, so they're going to have some stuff up their sleeve, you know what I mean? It's always hard to beat a team twice. They'll be well prepared, but Mike Evans, he's been balling the last couple of weeks.
I think you just have to be really intentional with your technique. You got to make sure you play your leverage, and you got to compete really hard every single play because you know he's an ultimate competitor.
As we continue on the opening drive, you can say it every week, but really in this one, the turnover battle going to be key. Falcons coming off their 3rd game of the season where they did not give the ball away. They got Jesse Bates on their team. That helps. Yep. Tampa is +5 on the year in turnover margin.
Yeah, the Falcons -3. After last week's performance, you do a good job of getting the football. Giving the ball back to your offense, giving them extra possessions is always huge. And you do that at home. You get the crowd into it. You make it more plays. You score more points. You put more pressure on their offense. It is always a recipe for success when you can do that and you take care of the football of your own. And then the Falcons secretary know how important it is to get the ball out every week.
Have Jesse Bates on your team. I mean, bro, it's really like just being prepared. He's a hell of a player, and he's starting it off, you know what I mean? And we just feeding off of him.
Just working in practice, being intentional about getting the ball out, whether that's through punch-outs, interceptions, and just making it a point of emphasis at the beginning of the week.
And as we wrap up the opening drive, like we said, it's kind of nice. It's December, and we're talking about
playoffs.
Very nicely done. If the Falcons beat Tampa Bay, they'd effectively have a 2.5 game lead on the Bucs because of the head-to-head tiebreaker. Lose, and you're inviting all kinds of bad tiebreaker scenarios. It's a big one, Shock.
Yeah, no doubt. We were talking about this before we came on. Just the fact you had some NFC games earlier. If you win those games, then maybe this gives you a little cushion. But hey, you get a win and you get the cushion you need. Can't do anything about what happened in the past. Make sure you take care of business now, and then everything will fall into place. So I like where you're at. I like where you stand with everything in front of you and a chance to win this NFC South.
And a chance to extend that win streak. Welcome into Early Birds alongside DJ Shockley. I'm Justin Felder, and for the 2nd straight week, a really tough interior defensive line to handle. Vita Vea, he's a monster, and you can't let pressure get right up in Desmond Ritter's face.
Yeah, I got nightmares, and I'm not even playing against him. Vita Vea is an interior guy, and he leads his team in sacks right now with 5.5. He is always an issue and a guy that you got to worry about, like an Aaron Donald type of guy, Grady Jarrett. He continues to be a big part of what they do, interior part of their defense.
All right, Shock, we got a deep cut for you this week. You know what they say? Film room is pain, Your Highness. Anyone who says differently is selling something. Does the Dread Pirate Roberts from The Princess Bride?
Never heard of that.
You've never seen The Princess Bride?
No,
We're going to talk about this in a commercial.
Is that a movie? What is that?
Oh, my goodness. It's a great movie. Watch it with the kids. I just gave you guys a fun weeknight activity. We'll talk about that later. I'll see you in just a few. But first, one of the most talked about players on the Falcons roster has plenty to talk about himself. He's just waiting for the right time. Kyle Pitts recently became a first-time dad. Now, the tight end, very private about his personal life. The new dad and new mom haven't posted on social media about their son, and he hasn't posted the name anywhere, and we totally respect that. It's their timing. But when I talked to Pitts one-on-one this week, we did talk a little bit about life as a new father in the NFL. Dad life, congratulations. How's that going?
It's different. It's new. At first, I never held a child, actually.
Really?
Yeah. He was my first. I waited until my first was the first child I held. It was different seeing the process. It kind of skeeved me out a little bit. If I'm not lying. I'm not going to lie.
I don't think you're alone.
Now I'm doing it for someone else, and it's no longer about myself.
You got a lot of parents of young kids in the locker room. Dez just went through where you're at, a year or two ago. Do you call him up or other guys up and say, hey?
My call log was deep when it was, during this process, just talking to the different age ranges. You got kids that are grown, and then you got a couple months old. I range from, the different questions for different, stages.
Well, congratulations.
Yes,
that's terrific.
Rose in zone. Kyle Pitts, touchdown, Atlanta.
We'll talk football. How do you look at your season to this point?
I think it's a steady climb. Obviously, coming off an injury is a bit different for me, so just adjusting, trying to get in the offense and do as best I can every week, every play, and grow. And
so that's the thing, coming off an injury. I've never had knee surgery. 99% of people haven't, and if they haven't played NFL tight end. So are you still dealing with that? Does it still affect you?
I wouldn't say it's affecting me, but yeah, I deal with it every day. Rehabbing, it being a constant, getting back to not 100%, 1,000,000%,
right.
Feeling better than I was previous of the injury. So just that's just a steady grind every day.
Is it the rehabbing? Is it how it does it hurt? Is it the speed or endurance or cuts? Like how does it still come up?
I wouldn't say really just in the physical part. It's really just taking care of it, just the post practice, doing what I'm supposed to be doing at home, icing it, taking my necessary medicine, stay on top of it.
Is it frustrating at all? I mean, it's been a while, but it doesn't happen like that. Is it frustrating still working through that happened so long ago?
I wouldn't say it was frustrating. I think God did it for a reason, and for me to go through this time and to look deep within and face adversity. That was my first major injury, and come out on top like I plan to do.
It's a big one coming up on Sunday. It's cool that we get to ask about this, but a real chance to bolster y'all's playoff odds.
Yeah, it's different. For us to be able to have the chance to be able to go to the playoffs, that's something different. Everyone knows what's at stake, and we just know that we got to bring it each week, and it just feels a little different that we have a different opportunity to make it to the playoffs, and we're in a pretty good spot, but we can't get complacent.
It's time to get some game intel from Shock. You're invited into the film room, so cut the lights and let's get started.
All right, we just talked about how the Falcons have been able to get the turnovers, which is a huge part of the game. How about the other part of the game is getting sacks and how you create those sacks? Let's jump into a big play from the last ball game, how the Falcons were able to create some confusion up front that allowed them to get a sack. Bud Dupree is actually going to get the sack on this play, but up initially, look at how many guys at the line of scrimmage. You got 7 guys at the line of scrimmage, and then you look on the outside and say, okay, what coverage is it? Right now, it looks like man. Look at all these guys' head. They're looking at the receivers. For a quarterback that says, I got man coverage, I know where I should be able to go to football, but the Falcons are going to do something different when they snap the football. Now, the interesting part about this is, watch on the snap of the football what happens. It looks like you got 7 guys blitzing, O-line come, and now you bail out of it. So now you only have 4 guys blitzing, and now you're playing zone coverage. So that changes everything for a mindset of a quarterback. Look at the eyes. Everybody's eyes is looking at the quarterback. Everybody has vision on where the quarterback's going to throw the football. He wants to get rid of this football, but he sees him buzzing out underneath, and you're going to have good pressure on the outside by Bud, create a one-on-one, and then you do a good job of keeping contained on the outside, which forces the quarterback Bull to step up in the pocket, and that's when Bud's going to retrace his steps. Get him around the corner. Now look at the containment. Now you keep containment. He has nowhere to go to football. Look at all the eyes of the defenders looking inside the quarterback to get to him. Bud's beat his guy one-on-one on the outside. Now you get home and you got a chance to get a sack. These are the type of plays the Falcons must continue to do. Show something pre-snap, then what they see post-snap, and be able to get after the quarterback. Turnovers, sacks. Justin, that's a recipe for winning football.
That's what they're going to try to do against Baker Mayfield. Shock, thank you so much. We've got more to come on Early Birds. Michael Jenkins is here as college football bowl season's about to kick off, and Jenk will answer the big question, did the playoff committee get it right? Plus,
you finally get your opportunity, and you go in there and you make the play, and it's just like, all right, I can do this.
it took Caden Ellis a little while to earn his NFL playing time. He'll give you the inside story on a big play early in his career when we go deep.
Hey Falcons fans, score a touchdown with low tire prices at Mavis Tires and Brakes, the official tire retailer of the Atlanta Falcons. Visit MavisTire.com to find a store near you. You're watching Early Birds, presented by Mercedes-Benz. Best, nothing. And sponsored by the Georgia Lottery. Today could be the day. Truest, when you start with care, you get a different kind of bank. And the Home Depot, how doers get more done. More Early Birds coming back at you. Early Birds, listen up. It's not Saturday without some college football talk. Brought to you by Zaxby's. Indescribably good chicken fingers and wings. Here's Justin Felder.
Welcome back into Early Birds. We welcome in former Falcons and Ohio State wide receiver Michael Jenkins. And this time last year, we were talking about your Buckeyes and DJ's Bulldogs in the college football playoffs. So what do we do for the next month or so?
I don't know. We're both out.
Hey, still got bowl games, big bowl games to look forward to, both of you guys, which is more than you can say for my college football team. Jake, let's start with this. This is the question on everybody's mind. Had a week to let it sink in. So did the College Football Playoff Committee get it right?
I think they got it right. Was it fair?
Okay.
No. I still think Florida State should have been in, but I think if you look at overall the best 4 teams playing college football right now, I think they got it right.
So you got Michigan, Washington, Texas, Alabama. Is this what you would have voted for if you were on that committee?
If I had a vote, I still would put Florida State in, knowing because I was we were in a similar situation with Ohio State,
right?
With a 3rd-string quarterback, vying to get in, and we got in and actually won it. So it's like, hey, don't fault one player getting hurt and take it out on the rest of the team.
And a few years back, Ohio State made some noise with the backup quarterback when Cardale Jones came in. Florida State's Mike Norvell not happy about this decision, as you'd imagine. Put it this way.
One of the tougher moments I've had to experience, and just for all that they've done. You talk to a team about responding to adversity, getting up and going to give all that you can to be able to find a way to win a college football game. They put it on display. So that was really that feeling in the moment.
Yeah, you feel for them. Undefeated team, ACC champs. Next year, the playoff goes to 12 teams.
Yeah,
that might tamp down the controversy, but I guess I wonder, does that make the end of the regular season less exciting?
I don't think so, because you're still vying for those top 4 spots, so you can get a bye. So the teams are going to play extremely hard towards the end to get one of those top 4 spots now.
That's still a big one. And we got Final Four teams this year. Mentioned them a moment ago. Semifinal matchup set: Michigan and Alabama, Texas and Washington. Let's get your early predictions, and we'll start with the Longhorns and the Huskies. Who you got?
I'm going with the Longhorns.
Okay.
They're playing extremely well. Quinn Ewers in that offense are rolling, and they earned the right to get in, and I think they're going to take advantage of it.
All right, the other one, you see them right here, Alabama. They took on Georgia in the SEC Championship, lost to Texas earlier in the year. They'll face off with #1 seed and your old friends, Michigan. What are you thinking there?
Can I even pick Michigan? Would
I
that
don't
be
know.
I don't. So we're going to go Bama.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Bama, Texas, maybe a rematch in the championship would certainly be a good one. Some teams, though, as you mentioned, yours, DJ's left out of the playoffs. Georgia, they're going to the Orange Bowl. They're thinking about the transfer portal these days, guys sitting out. So the question is, how big a challenge is that for an Ohio State, for a Georgia to get up for a game that's not the playoffs?
Yeah, it can be tough this day and age. You know who's going to play, who's sitting out. But kind of taking it from watching Ohio State the year we didn't make it, we had Chris Olave, Garrett Wilson sit out, and then we were able to see a freshman Marvin Harrison Jr. come in and play at a high level. So it made you excited for the next season. So a lot of decisions for teams and kids to decide on with these bowl games, but hopefully, Georgia and Florida State play at a high level and show that, hey, we should have been in, and it's a really exciting game.
You make that point. Kirby Smart made the exact same point this week. He feels like his team could have been in as well.
I empathize with anybody that goes undefeated and doesn't get in. I empathize with our players because I personally feel like we deserve to be in. So, we've got a really good football team, and we're considered #1 in the country all year and then fail. So we got a hornet's nest around here, too, of some players that are disappointed, too. So that works both ways. The good news is we got each other to go play, and I know they'll be up for us, and we'll be up for them.
So it's Saturday morning. What do we do now the rest of the day? We got Army Navy on later.
Yeah, hey, let's go Army.
There we go.
Yeah,
all right, Army over Navy. We still got a little bit of football left. Shock. We'd normally be sending you to Athens right about now. You got the rest of the Saturday off. That's a little silver lining, maybe?
It is a silver lining, but you continue to say Georgia's out. That is frustrating me. I don't know what you keep saying that. That is getting to me, Justin. Golly. But, no, all good, man. Appreciate you guys. Each week on Go On D, we ask a Falcons player to give us the behind-the-scenes story of one of the biggest moments of their career. Caden Ellis is a big part of the Falcons defense, but as a 7th-round pick, he didn't always see much of the field. One big play helped change that. He explains in this week's Going Deep.
It was one of my first times getting like real playing time, and it was in New England. It was my 3rd year, 2nd year if you count ACL year out of it, whatever. And I was able to come off. And I didn't get the sack, but I beat the guard in the center. We ran a game, and I hit Mac Jones, ball coughed up, pick.
Blitz from the Saints. Jones steps up in the pocket, fluttering ball, picked off. Intercepted by P.J. Williams, and he's looking to take it back.
Going down the sideline, they get at like the 1-yard line. He actually fumbled it. I picked it up, ran to the end zone. They called him down, all that. But it was, it was just a play where it was like, you finally get your opportunity, and you go in there and you make the play, and it's just like, all right, I can do this. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, come on, like, give me some more reps.
Well, the Falcons had a long injury report this week. For some players, that's a whole new experience. Others, though, have been through it before. The Falcons team doctor will explain how that affects his job next.
You're watching Early Birds, presented by Mercedes-Benz, on your official home for Falcons football, Fox 5 Atlanta.
Welcome back to Early Birds. Plenty of NFL players have dealt with one too many injuries throughout their careers. For others, though, an injury might be a first-time experience, and that affects how team medical staffs handle their interactions with players. And that's the focus of this week's Emory Road to Recovery.
An athlete who, unfortunately, has been multiply injured, a lot of times knows how to handle it. A lot of times they know what to expect. They know how their body will recover, and so they generally have an idea of how they're feeling, and they're very good at vocalizing that and communicating with our training staff and communicating with me because they've been through injuries before. Versus maybe the younger, more healthy athlete who never really had an injury before. If it's the first time they're dealing with a major injury, they don't know what to necessarily expect. So I'll spend a lot of time with them educating and talking about, maybe some historical data that we've seen with other athletes, but really have to individualize it to them because they're their own person, and I don't even know necessarily how they'll recover. So genetics plays a lot of role in that, and I explain that to them, that we'll just have to see how it goes day by day and week by week as you recover. And then, obviously we tailor each recovery process to what they need and what their body is telling us and how they're responding. Some guys respond better to certain treatments than others, and we kind of, like I said, individualize that approach to each athlete.
All right, thanks, Doc. We got more to come on Early Birds. The Falcons are helping some of their fans get a head start on Christmas shopping. We'll explain that after the break.
It's almost game time, Falcons fans. When the Falcons sack the opposing QB at home, you'll score a BOGO free Big Zack snack meal the day after the game. Valid online only at Atlanta area stores. Early Birds has been presented to you by Mercedes-Benz. The best or nothing. Hey Falcons fans, score a touchdown with low tire prices at Mavis Tires and Brakes, the official tire retailer of the Atlanta Falcons. Visit MavisTire.com to find a store near you.
Rise up, rise up.
You weren't lying.
Hey.
I love it. Falcons fans made their way to Atlantic Station to meet some players and also make somebody's Christmas. Jesse Bates, D. Alford on hand for the Falcons Toys for Tots Drive and Shock. Always good to see the guys out in the community, and hey, never too early to get some shopping done.
No doubt about it. You love to see the fans excited to see these guys because there were a time where, fans weren't too excited to see our Falcons, but now they are. The mantras, everybody's feeling good about it. So obviously with Jesse Bates out, everybody feels good.
A couple good ones to see right there. Also took some pictures, signed some autographs. Very cool stuff. Be sure to join us for the Dirty Bird Report tomorrow night, 11:30. We will wrap up the Falcons and Buccaneers. That's Sunday night at 11:30 p.m. So Shock, Falcons and Bucs, 1 p.m. tomorrow. Give us one more matchup to watch in this game.
Usually I go defense. I'm going offense today. Don't let them get their run game going with Rachaad White. Last two games, 184 yards, 35 carries. This guy's averaging almost 6 yards. We got to slow him down. Can't allow him to get going.
Make him one-dimensional and slow down Mike Evans, like we said earlier in the show. Shock, thanks so much, and thank you all for being here. That's it for us on Early Birds. For DJ Shockley, I'm Justin Felder. Have a good morning and a great rest of your weekend.